So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our conjunction video of the week. And this week we're going to be covering Sun and Saturn in the ascendant of your birth chart. As in what happens when Sun and Saturn are in the Lagna, the ascendant of the birth chart. And as always, if you do not know, if you have this particular placement, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, all the astrological details, for that check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Maga Vedic Astrology Academy, where I also have KRS vlogs that I have all the details, all the techniques in there, a lot of videos in there, more videos coming soon. And of course, it's because of that, I'm able to actually film this high budget for me, Meeting Ketu movie, which is 70% done, 30% is left this week and next week. So we're on schedule. It's going to be a month of post-production. Because, sometimes good things take time. So it's going to take time to refine the movie, editing, color correcting, all of those things, and the score of the movie, special effects. It's a lot of work. So, yeah. So anyway, guys, let's start with this Sun and Saturn conjunction video. So, as you know, Sun and Saturn are known as bitter enemies, especially if you read the story of Surya and how he created Chaya, and then Saturn came from Chaya. There's this resentment that usually is attached with the sun. But that really doesn't always happen. It always depends upon the sign that Sun and Saturn are placed in, the nakshatra Sun and Saturn are placed in, because I've seen, and this is actually a very strong representation of what I've seen in real consultation, is that a person's career is greatly affected by the advice of the father. Like, such a person may actually pick a career and sacrifice their own desire because of the sake of the father. Like, father desired for you, if you have this conjunction, to be an IAS officer, to go become an engineer like him, to become a doctor like him, whatever the profession is. You'll be like, you know what? My father asked this, I'll do it. Because you got to remember, Saturn is the servant. Saturn is here to serve. And here the servant is standing right next to the king. What do you think will happen when king says something? Saturn will automatically bow and say, yes, I'll do it. As much as it will burn, as much as it will cause, internal animosity. But you will be quiet and you'll do it. Now, will there be rebelliousness? Yeah, sure. Depends on the sign and nakshatra again. Usually fire signs, father can become overly powerful. Father will demand too much from you and a person gets frustrated. Like, okay, enough is enough. I did whatever I could, but I'm not going to do it. But on the basic level, I've always seen people who always want to fulfill the desires of the fatherly figure, or the householder in the family. So even if, let's say, you grew up with a single mother, if the mother desired for you to do something and become something, you will do that. Because again, Sun is not just a masculine figure. Sun is representing the masculine figure who is the head of the household. So if your mother's the one paying the mortgage, paying the bills, and it's just you and your siblings, well, mother is taking place of the son. Unless, of course, the stepfather comes in. And such people will usually always be influenced by politics. They're very much into politics. They want to make sure that people are being done right by. And not any people. You will see with Sun and Saturn, such people will do whatever they can for the lower minorities, for the lower wage person. Even if it doesn't make sense economically, they will still want to fight for that. Because now the king is conjunct Saturn. The king is being influenced by the servant. Servant is saying, listen, none of the servants in the other kingdoms are receiving, proper pay. They're being, taken advantage of. They don't have a healthcare plan. Please help us. And then the king is like, oh, looks like I'm going to have to pay attention to this. And then the king will fight with other kings. Like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And other kings might be like, okay, well, our economy is not sustainable because of that. But the king will be like, no, you have to do it. So there's that strong force towards social justice, social reform. And one thing we see with this is that a person's fame comes in late, their status and reputation may come on time, but fame may come in late, meaning recognition. Also, this can give children relate. But one thing you will see whenever Sun and Saturn are conjunct, the sign of Capricorn will become active, regardless of what your ascendant is. Whether you're Aries, you could be Cancer, Capricorn, Pisces, doesn't matter. Wherever the sign of Capricorn is, that sign becomes active. Now, what does that mean? That means in that particular sign, you will have to sacrifice something related to the father or an authority. That's what's going to happen. So let's say if Capricorn happens in your 5th house, okay, as a Virgo ascendant. Well, you're going to have to sacrifice your education for the father. You're going to have to change the subject of your education because of the father. You may actually have to sacrifice your entire education because you may have had to take care of the father's business. There's a sacrifice that gets made at the sign of Capricorn with this particular conjunction. Children come in late with this conjunction right in the 1st house. And especially, usually either a person will not have a younger sibling with this particular conjunction, or this particular individual who has this conjunction will treat their younger sibling like the servant, making them do things that, no normal sibling may expect or do. And usually that is found with certain tamasic nakshatras, nakshatra placement. Remember, for me, sign is a secondary. For someone else, sign might be primary. Depends upon what type of astrologer you are. Certain astrologer can do only good with nakshatras. Some can only do good with Gemini. Some can only do good with KP. Or some may have to actually switch to tropical astrology to make better predictions. Remember, there's a whole level and class of how an astrologer needs to proceed. So for me, I have to see the nakshatra and I know. I just know. And usually you'll also notice if Saturn is a below Sun's degree, Saturn is going to be more powerful. It's going to be domination of Saturn. If Saturn is past Sun, then Sun's going to be more dominant in there. Now, if let's say Saturn is retrograde with the Sun, then the decision that you may choose because of your father may actually backfire. And that too depends upon the sign and the nakshatra of this particular placement. The advice of the father might go against the proper paths that you're supposed to take. Okay. So anyway, guys, this is my analysis of Sun and Saturn in the 1st house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss these type of videos. And if you want to know anything about your astrological chart and consultations, check out the links here. And please do sign up on KRS Vlogs so I can make this movie properly. All right. Thank you.